no question about it. But then suddenly, Michael and I got the clover butter advertisement, which bought my house. Bought this house.
At the age of 90, Dame Judi Dench finally revealed a secret that touched her fans. Had she ever truly gotten over the loss of her ex-husband, actor Michael Williams? Despite having a new partner for more than a decade, the reason she refuses to remarry has surprised many. What makes Judi Dench's heart still yearn for the past? What she admitted will shock you? Don't miss it. Judi Dench reveals emotional truth. At the age of 90, Dame Judi Dench, the actress who portrayed the strong M in the James Bond series, has finally spoken up about the most painful experience of her life: the passing of her cherished husband, the actor Michael Williams. She has done so profoundly and passionately, even after more than 20 years have passed since his death. The loss continues to be a quiet wound that silently follows her about every day and through every month. A chat between the experienced actress and the documentary filmmaker Louis Theroux was filled with passion, and the actress could not contain her feelings while she was discussing Michael. This was a rare occasion in which she made it possible for the whole public to perceive the vulnerability that lay under the halo. "Oh, he was not in good health? In all honesty, I'm not very good at that," Judi said, her voice becoming choppy as she admitted. Yes, he left this world in 2001 due to lung cancer. You see, when we were younger, we smoked tobacco rather frequently. During the 30 years that Judi Dench was married to Michael Williams, he was not just the guy who made her laugh every day, but he was also her companion. After being married in 1971, they had a daughter named Finty Williams, who followed in her parents' footsteps and became an actor. What brought them together, however, was not only a similar job or a familial connection, rather it was a sense of humor and a subtle yet profound emotional connection. Michael would laugh, and when he laughed, he would weep. Judi recalls with a glint in her eye. Michael would cry when he laughed. Following the passing of her spouse, Dame Judi made the decision to withhold public expressions of her sorrow. She was able to keep her customary calm in public, but on the inside, she was hiding a void that she rarely let anybody see. During a brief period of silence, she said, "All of a sudden, the door in this house opened, and I thought he had wandered in." Having such transient glimpses, over which she had no control, demonstrated that the link that she had with Michael had never been severed. In light of this, Dame Judi Dench has decided against the possibility of remarrying, despite the fact that she has been in a new relationship with naturalist David Mills since. This is not because she is dissatisfied with her current relationship. Rather, it is because her heart still contains a spot that cannot be replaced for her late spouse. She responded with a response that was both kind and strong when she was asked if she would consider marrying Mills. "He won't propose," she said. "In no way, shape, or form. We should stick together and make the most of our age." The response might be seen as a statement on Judi Dench's perspective on love and memory, in addition to being a rejection. She considers the act of keeping happy memories to be somewhat holy. In her discussion of David Mills, she even goes so far as to reject the usual notions of boyfriend and partner. She chuckles and says, "Partner is something that has to do with dancing." "Partner is a terrible word," the speaker said. "Were you friends? Who are your boyfriends?" "No." "Do you have boyfriends?" Judi Dench has gone on a profound inward journey during the past 20 years, and this honesty represents that experience. It was in the year 2020 that she made her first admission, which was made in a podcast with David Tennant. Grief completely changes you. It is a transformation that doesn't appear to be readily apparent on the surface, but it is something that is always there within her. As Judi Dench hits her 90s, she is no longer attempting to conceal the sadness that she is experiencing. Instead, she decides to speak openly about love, loss, and the reasons why some people are unable to get over pain and why getting over grief is not necessary. The fact that she says, "I doubt I'll ever get over Mikey," is something that may not need to be altered. So how did two people from different religious backgrounds manage to build a marriage that has lasted 3 decades? And how did their differences shape their wedding? How faith differences. Before embarking on their 30-year marriage, Dame Judi Dench and Michael Williams faced a particular challenge, one that not every couple can overcome easily: differences in faith. It was not just differences in rituals or customs, but also profound differences in life philosophy and religion, which can cause many people to hesitate right at the threshold of marriage. Judi Dench, raised in the Quaker tradition, a Christian sect that emphasizes silence, personal reflection, social justice, and equality, has always considered that faith a core part of her identity. She attended the Mount School in York, a historic Quaker school where these values were instilled early. Michael Williams, meanwhile, was a devout Roman Catholic, a faith that is ritualistic, systematic, and requires strict adherence to long-standing dogmas. The question was, how could two people from very different faiths come together in a sacred ceremony where faith plays a central role? Could they have a wedding without offending each other's beliefs or leaving their family and friends feeling left out of the ceremony? Judi Dench told Trini Woodall's podcast, "We wanted to get married at the Catholic Church in Hampstead, which is right next to my house. But as the wedding day approached, we were thinking more and more about one thing. How could we make the ceremony feel like no one was being cut off, but everyone was being welcomed as a family?" To tackle this complex issue, they sought spiritual guidance from people they trusted deeply. Father Tom Corbishley, director of Campion Hall, Oxford, and Joseph McCullough, a clergyman and close family friend. It was these two mentors who helped the couple chart a path to a wedding that was not only dignified but also inclusive. One memorable evening proved to be a turning point. Over an intimate meal with Father Tom, the magic happened, not with doctrinal advice, but with a simple yet meaningful act. Judi recalls with emotion, "He gave us Holy Communion. After that, nothing else mattered. Suddenly, all the anxiety was gone. He had erased any differences anyone in the community might have felt. That moment brought spiritual peace to both of them, a reconciliation of two traditions, an affirmation that true love can transcend the boundaries of dogma." And so, in a festive atmosphere, their wedding took place at St. Mary's Catholic Church in Hampstead, North London. No longer a ceremony divided by religion, it was a day of love, laughter, and kindness. A warm and colorful affair, attended by many of their close friends from the art world, including Dame Peggy Ashcroft, Sir Ian McKellen, Danny LaRue, and Roy Kinnear. Looking back, it was the way Judi and Michael dealt with their differences, not trying to change each other, but finding ways to work together, that foreshadowed a long, enduring marriage. In an interview, Michael once said, "When we got married, we went through a sacrament of marriage. I know that sounds old-fashioned these days, but I was brought up to believe that if you make a vow, especially in those circumstances, you have to keep it." From a wedding that transcended religious differences to become a symbol of harmony and true love. Judi Dench and Michael Williams' marriage lasted for 3 decades, until death tore them apart. But the love didn't end there. So what was left of Judi after her partner's death? And did she ever truly get over her loss? Grief and never moving on. It was Michael Williams' passing in 2001 that created a hole in Judi Dench's life that has never been filled, even though the wedding between Judi Dench and Michael Williams was a poignant demonstration of love that transcended faith. It wasn't simply the conclusion of a marriage that had lasted for 30 years, it was also the beginning of a chapter that has been extremely painful and continues to be so to this day. Even after 23 years have passed since the passing of her spouse, Dame Judi Dench continues to talk openly and frequently about the sorrow she has experienced. During a profound conversation that took place in the year 2020 with the actor David Tennant, she said that grief completely changes you. This is not something that can be eased with time. Rather, it is a gradual and sneaky change that affects the very way a person perceives the world and conducts their life daily. The hopeless trek that Dench took back to Michael in the closing hours of his life is one of the most devastating recollections of her. When she learned that her spouse had developed a severe illness, she was in New York City at the time. I was doing a show, and they said he wasn't well. Dench communicated to Louis Theroux, her voice breaking with the intensity of her feelings. Her travel agency had booked her on the Concorde, which was the quickest trip that was available, but the flight was canceled. They attempted another, but their results were the same as before. When a woman was yearning to spend one last moment with her spouse, the feelings of misery and anguish were etched into her head like a permanent tattoo. In the end, she was able to return home. We were back together, and we were all in the house together. The memory of Dench recalled that it was really, really good. In a chapter that is filled with regrets, there is one last comfort. In a remarkable turn of events, Judi Dench continues to experience Michael's presence in every aspect of her life, even after over 25 years have passed. There was a recent quick visit to their former house in the Midlands with broadcaster Jay Blades, and Dench was overtaken with emotion during that tour. Her voice was soft and hushed as she muttered, "There are so many memories there," as if no time had passed. She related instances in which she had the impression that Michael was still present, such as when she noticed a door opening slightly or when she had a sense of familiarity that led her to believe that he was indeed wandering into the house as he always did. For this reason, Judi Dench did not hesitate when she was asked if she had gotten over the death. She responded, "I doubt I will ever forget Mikey." The feeling was not one of lamentation, but rather a profound realization that certain losses never truly go. Rather, they become an inseparable component of your being. A decision that Dench took that was unexpected came about as a result of the void that she had created. She went back to work soon after Michael's burial. The day after the funeral, I went to Canada to shoot the shipping news, and the day after I got back to England, I started shooting Iris. To deal with her sadness, she did not choose to relax or hide. Rather, she pushed herself into her job and used it as a means of coping. In a candid statement, Dench says, "Since Michael's passing, I've been working even harder. A tremendous amount of energy is provided to you by grief, and I needed to make use of it." Acting provided her with a sense of comfort, not because she forgot, but because she embodied. At times, performing in a play might be excruciating, but I also find that it is therapeutic. In order to transform all that you are going through into energy, you first take it. Similar to gasoline, it makes it easier for me to deal with. So is there such a thing as getting over the pain of losing a loved one? Or is it simply learning to live with it, day by day, moment by moment, with all that's left in your heart? Why did Judi Dench never remarry after Michael's death? Fidelity. After the death of her beloved husband, Michael William, in 2001 from lung cancer, Dame Judi Dench never remarried. She has said that their relationship of more than 30 years was a sacred one that could never be repeated, and that entering into another marriage no longer seemed necessary or appropriate for her circumstances and emotions. The decision reflected not only her loyalty to William's memory, but also her changing views on romantic relationships as she entered the final stages of her life. Dench's life took an unexpected turn in 2010 when she met David Mill, a wildlife conservationist, on a seemingly casual but fateful occasion. Mills invited Dench to open a red squirrel nursery at his wildlife center in Surrey, just a few miles from her home. She was 76 at the time, accustomed to a quiet, single life and a career focused on her work after the loss of her husband. However, that meeting sparked a deep and warm bond, although it began in a very natural way. Dench has spoken candidly of her surprise. "I wasn't even prepared for it," a confession so honest that it was not something she had sought out. But like the plants that grew naturally in Mills's sanctuary, their relationship grew over time, unhurried and unforced. Unlike the traditional marriage she had with Michael Williams when both were at the peak of their careers and in their 30s, her relationship with Mills was a meeting of two experienced souls, understanding and mature enough to appreciate each other without formal ties. Mills, who is about 8 years her junior, has appeared in her life as a calm, quiet, but steady companion. He has attended many events with Dench for more than a decade, From film premieres, art festivals, to charity fundraisers, always standing behind her, quietly supporting her, without being loud or ostentatious. However, both have chosen to maintain absolute independence in their personal lives. Although they live just a few miles apart in Surrey, they maintain two separate homes, a decision that not everyone understands, but for Dench it is a choice of identity. She once shared briefly but firmly, "We are too independent." For her, living with someone is no longer essential to maintaining an emotional bond. It is this respect for personal space that has become the solid foundation for a mature and lasting relationship. When asked if she would consider marrying Mills again, Dench responded straightforwardly and symbolically, "No, no, 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 let's stick together and live our age." This is not only a gentle refusal, but also a clear reflection of her stance. Love in old age does not need to conform to old conventions. Interestingly, Dench also refuses to use conventional relationship labels to describe her companion. In an interview, when asked whether she called David Mills her boyfriend or partner, she laughed and replied, "Partner is something to do with dancing. Partner, that's a terrible word. Friend? No. Boyfriend? No. Is your boyfriend okay?" The witty but also very real answer shows that for Dench, labels are less important than empathy and emotional support between two people. At 90, Dench does not hide the feeling that love and loss still accompany her every day. She once said frankly and emotionally, "I doubt I will ever forget Mikey." The name Mikey that she used to affectionately call Michael Williams still comes out in her speech, proving that he is always present in her heart. Her memories of him have not faded, but on the contrary, she has preserved them as an indispensable part of herself. While remaining loyal to the past, Dench shows softness and flexibility in the way she sees the future. She does not try to replicate her old marriage, nor does she force herself to live alone. Instead, she has created a new model, a relationship without a name, without a wedding, without living together, but full of understanding, sharing and supporting each other on the journey to the end of life. Judi Dench's approach carries a profound message that at any age, people can still love, can connect, but that love does not necessarily have to go with marriage or cohabitation. It is freedom, the ability to choose and design a type of relationship that suits you, not according to the standards imposed by society. What do you think about Dame Judi Dench's choice to live and love after loss? Is love without the constraints of marriage and living alone an ideal model for future relationships? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more interesting updates.